everybody, welcome back to Tanchaz Talk. I'm so glad you all always keep tuning in. This is the world's only English language program focusing primarily on Hungarian folk music. We are live today on Facebook Live, telling stories and playing music. Hoppa! Hello for people starting to check in already. Shandor Veresh from New Jersey says, yes, he's excited to be back. I'm surprised you have electricity. I hear there are problems down there in the coast last couple of days. Today's show is focused on an idea I had a couple of days ago, thinking, in post-COVID times, that is in regular times, we're going to getting back to the way we had it before with the camps and the Tanchazes and the festivals. And I was thinking, why don't I create a dream festival lineup for a festival of Hungarian folk music that would take place sometime in after COVID's over. We're imagine ourselves outside somewhere in North America, nice weather, we're enjoying each other, we're the music, and this dream festival lineup that I'm thinking about might not necessarily be my favorite groups or favorite musicians, but I'm thinking, based on everything we need in a festival, I think we would cover all of our bases in a big day-long stage presentation. It starts in the morning, late morning, and people are filing in, and kind of a Woodstock. As time goes on, it gets darker, and by the night time, there's a big, huge party. So that's what I'm thinking, to play some music for you that would go well with a post-COVID festival of Hungarian folk music. I can dream, can't I? By the way, while you're here, make sure you subscribe on the YouTube channel for Tanchaz Talk or if you like podcasts, the Tanchaz Talk interviews series is going on, of course, and that's going to be those are my long-form conversations with various personalities in the Hungarian folk dance and folk music scene. And this week I'm putting out several of them in the next week or so. So I'm very excited to be speaking with all kinds of people. And so far, so good on the interview front. Very, very, very interesting, at least to me. And I hope it is to you too. In English language, talking to people from Hungary and from Canada and from the US and from all over the place. This is going to be a special week for that. Starting tomorrow, you'll be hearing some new interviews which I've pre-recorded. So I would like to start the festival off. When we hear festival, we think food. There's going to be food. Every Hungarian festival. What do we have? We got langos, we got palacsinta. That's just for starters. We go into the gulyás leves, which might spill over onto your white shirt. So never wear a white shirt at a festival unless you're performing, of course. That's a pro tip from Öcsi. And we could also think about, the meatier dishes, the paprikas, csirke, and the, székely kaposta and stuff like that. At the end of the festival, of course, there'll be a lot of leftover food. Because the Hungarians, we like to overcook like Grandma always does. So you need some people to eat the leftover food. And for me, there's really nobody that does that better than this next band. That's Duvö. The Duvö group, of course, one of everybody's favorite, favorite of many people, I should say. And they're playing Ballas a Gyarmati. This is the old Duvö. Listen to this. This is a great set. This is maybe they'll open the festival with this. Hello, Tomasz Poda. Tom Rancovic checking in as well. The Hruz brothers are great festival openers. They know they're very entertaining to watch, and with their accompaniment, no matter who it is, they're always putting on a fantastic show. Szabolcs and Danish Hruz, the heartbeat of Duvö. Classic Duvö. Szia, Moroc Éva. Tomasz Poda loves this. From Calgary. They're all good fun. Yes, they are. Vince Ferenc, servus. Welcome back. Kati Lamont from Washington. Hi, Rebecca from Toledo. Hope you're enjoying Duvö. Piccandare. That's what this song is called. Piccandare. Little pizzicato. That's Duvö. That's going to be starting off my dream festival lineup. Of course, we bring them in at the beginning of the festival. They have to stay till the end because they are there to eat all the leftover food. That's a very important function of a band at the festivals. So, hello, people checking in. Martin Michalak. Hello, Ted Zed brought me here. I like that. Hello, Martin. Bognar András, servus from Bozseva, the great Bögös. Speaking of Bögös and bass players, Moroc Eva, of course, checking in. Dr. Moroc, who's actually technically the first bass player in Eletfa before she was succeeded by Papatilla and then Rahul Rothblatt. Old times. Sia Ola Zsófi. Speaking of festivals, you know, one of the great groups, of course, is the Kalman Gypsy Band, which we don't hear them too often here anymore. They toured a fair number of times in North America and all over the place. They were very big in Holland, and you know, they are really a great festival band, I think, and a great concert band. You know, I played with Kalman's group once in New Jersey. They were on tour, and their guitarist Kuti Shani, who was also a great cimbalom player, and everybody, a lot of people know Kuti Shani. Kuti Shani wasn't on tour with them, so I suggested that maybe I can play the guitar, the Bugaria, and also the contra for some of the Hungarian stuff. And they kind of looked at me funny and saying, okay, we'll try you out. So I remember they were staying at my parents' place in Teaneck, New Jersey, and we were on the back porch, and they started with the Kalushari, and then they started with the Pachita, and they started with all the Macedonian brides dance and all these various arrangements, and they were shocked to know that I knew them all. Well, I was a Kalman cimbalom band addict. I memorized all the charts, the chord charts, the order of how many times this is, and the beam boom and bam bam, and you guys remember all that stuff. And come on baby, that's ching boom, and I was big into that. So it was a real riot, and they were playing at the Raway Hungarian Club, and they said, okay Öcsi, you can come play with us. So there I was, wedged in between Balo Kalman and Novak Chaba, the bass player, and it was the ride of my life. This was somewhere in around the mid-90s, and I had a wonderful time accompanying them. I think there's a recording of that somewhere. So in honor of them being such great folks and letting me take the stage with them so long ago, I'm going to have Balo Kalman at the Dream Festival, and he'll be a part of it with his band playing this big hit that they played back then, Kalishari. Hello, Attila Branyicki, you're back again. Sonia Dreher, hello. Ted Zed is here. What about Lotzi from Regina? Or north of Regina, probably. This is it. Listen to that. Balo Kalman, Sia Libori oggi, Winnipeg. Background. I'll bring Fitos Dejeu and Kadar Ignatz just to dance this thing right here. Yes, sounds like a train. faster? It does. Get ready. Fasten your seatbelts. That's the festival piped in noise there, crowd noise. That is Balo Kalman. That's going to be at my dream post-COVID festival. Duvu and then Balo Kalman playing Kalushari. It's going to be such a great festival, I'll tell you. So of course I need a big budget, Hungarian government grant, and I think probably Canada and the US probably have to chip in as well to afford getting all the musicians out. To wherever it's going to be. I guess the festival will go to the highest bidder. Hello, people checking in. My mother, Magyar Judit, she remembers, of course, she remembers the Balo Kalman. That was 8 people living at our house. Of course, how can you forget? It's a lot of eggs to scramble. Turkish Ildiko is checking in from Ottawa, and Bronitzki Attila is asking, when am I planning this festival for? I'm not sure this will actually be able to happen. It's too big, too expensive. It's too dreamy, you know, but let's dream a bit. Speaking of Romanian music, I won't forget ever a festival that happened. I think it was more of like a picnic or something. The Öcsi band was playing in Garfield, New Jersey. And Berec András was there. He was the singer, the very famous male singer and storyteller from Hungary, and they were on tour, and they performed at an event in Garfield, New Jersey at the Liga, at the Hungarian club there, and they were playing something really beautiful. I don't even know, like Mezőségi or Kalotaszegi, and some of these older Hungarian men, you know, 1956ers started yelling, you know, cut this Romanian music off. What are you guys playing this Romanian music for? And of course, it wasn't Romanian; it was Transylvanian. But to the 1956er in the 80s, this was a big shock. You know, they did, and this was just after the Táncház movement started, and they were starting to become familiar with that Transylvanian, authentic village music. So that was a interesting early lesson as to some of the resistance, because it wasn't nota and it wasn't the operetta or any of these songs that were known to be the Hungarian people's music when these people left Hungary after the revolution. So times have changed, and of course now you won't hear those kinds of comments. In fact, you can play straight up Romanian music now, like Invirtitas and the like, at festivals and at Hungarian festivals, and nobody will complain. They'll just assume it's some obscure Hungarian piece. Of course, I hate to say it, but one of the most famous Hungarian pieces of music, people think it's Hungarian. It's the Pacsirta. It's Dinicu. He wrote it, and he's a Romanian guy. So it's actually the most famous Hungarian, one of the most famous Hungarian gypsy violin pieces is actually Romanian. So there you go. Totfalusi Zsuzsanna, servus. She's checking in as well. And there are other people coming in and out here, so I'm trying to keep up while I'm telling some stories. So I'll tell you what though, I think we need some very authentic music at this festival, and who better to convey that in a very nice manner and nice form other than Tükrös band. Tükrös, and I might have them play at this Dream Festival several tracks from their one of their more recent CDs, Mi Mezőségünk, their great CD featuring mezőség music. And here's a clip from that. This is Nagy Sajói from Tükrös. Listen to that full-bodied accompaniment. Two contras, two violins, bass. Mishi is checking in. Sia Mishi. Dea Lungu, he says. Absolutely it is. Kathy Lamont has a real quick, nice story talking about the Tisa Ensemble from Washington when they were performing Palatkai, Magyar Palatka dances at an international festival in the 80s in Virginia. And a very angry Romanian lady wanted to know why a Hungarian group was stealing Romanian music. See, it goes both ways. It cuts both ways, that knife. Szia Réka, Szarvasból! Now we start going. It's festival time. Let's go. Hup, hup, hup. If you pay close attention, you can hear the play between the two contras. One contra is playing ruta tita, ruta tita, ruta tita, and the other one is just playing the straight offbeats. This is a very, very rich accompaniment village, Nagysajó. Traditionally, the contra from Nagysajó has actually 4 strings and the flat bridge. So all 4 strings are used at the same time. It's kind of a souped up 3-string. So it's got the 4 strings with the flat bridge. It was very difficult to play and even more difficult to play in tune. ending on a 7 chord. That's a personal foul, 10-yard penalty, automatic, first down. Football's almost back, folks. Hi, Lexi from Winnipeg. She says, Liz Kovac says hello, but she's busy making langosh. That's right. The Hungarians in Winnipeg are cooking. Instead of Folklorama, which is canceled this year, they're selling food so you can take it home and have some high carb meals. Speaking of the festival here, we have to probably charge some admission for people coming in. It reminds me of a story. There was a Táncház in Toronto several years ago, and I had met a couple of nice Roma gypsy musicians in Toronto, and I invited them to come to the Táncház to check us out and to play a little. It was a violin and a viola and a bass player, and I just told them, let them know at the door when you come in that you're Magyar Kalman vendége, so you're the guest of Magyar Kalman. So we're in the middle of the Dunántúli or Felcsiki or something, towards the beginning of the Táncház, and I see the musicians coming down with their instruments, and the violinist and the viola player, and they're speaking to the folks at the door, the Kodai administrators. Okay, Magyar Kalman vendége, come on in, Magyar Kalman vendége, Magyar Kalman vendége. And then all of a sudden I see a big lineup of people, ostensibly their family members, coming up. Also, Magyar Kalman vendége. And the next person, Magyar Kalman vendége. And then 3 kids, Magyar Kalman vendége. Well, turns out there were a lot of guests of Magyar Kalman coming, and I had already only told them there's 3 people coming. And we had about over a dozen Magyar Kalman vendége, and I remember Hild Erika or Komaromli Andris, I don't know which one, comes up to me and says, how many people did you invite? I said 3, but I can see they're multiplying here. And then later on in the evening, one of the kids went to the bar to ask for a Coke or a ginger ale or something, and they said that's $2, and the kid said, no, I'm Magyar Kalman vendége. And that backfired on him, because they, no drinks, just the door in, my name gets you into the door there, but doesn't get you a drink. So we'll have to be careful with that during the Dream COVID Festival, post-COVID Festival, excuse me. We're gonna bring some musicians to my Dream Festival that really no longer play anymore together, and one of them is the 5 Virtuosos. Who remembers the 5 Virtuosos? They're among them Hru Sabi and from Duvö. Now he's there anyway. He's gonna be eating the leftovers, so he can stick around, play with the 5 Virtuosos and Tóth Gergő and Tarék Józsi and Desider Ola. Those are the guys I mentioned a couple of episodes ago that I played in London with the Carpathian Invasion in London, UK, several years ago now. So those guys will play together, and they have a really nice CD. I don't know if they still work together in that format, but it was called 5 Virtuoso. I think the 5th Virtuoso was a clarinet player, or maybe another violinist. But they had a nice CD of various little more contemporary takes on the traditional music, including a really nice Örköly, where Tarék Józsi played the saxophone. Listen to this. Hello, Monar Sigi from Vancouver. Those are chords you don't hear every day. nice cimbalom solo. Oh yeah, oh, oh. Every festival needs woodwinds and brass, so this is our woodwind and brass. Terek Yoji playing an unbelievable Öcsi. Desider Ola on cimbalom. Jazzy ending. We need some piped in crowd noise at the end there. Wow, very good. So that's the 5 virtuosos, which not a lot of people know that recording. It was kind of a limited production, and the band really didn't take off in our circles here. And it's really not a village music band like Duve or Tükürüş. But I really enjoy listening to their take, and they did a nice Kalotasegi too. I think it was in the key of like C sharp minor or something crazy on the CD. We are also gonna feature at my Dream Festival once COVID ends some music of played by Hungarians from Hungary that are from other nationalities. So we have to feature one of those things, and talk about our neighbors and the music of our neighbors. And everybody knows the Vujicic band. They're probably one of the most well-known, Serbian, Croatian, former Yugoslav area music bands. And of course, they've had kids and nephews and nieces, and some of these youngsters got together many years ago now. They're not that young anymore, and they have a band called Söndörgő. And Söndürgö is quite popular actually, and they might be getting even more popular than the dads. Although that's saying a lot, but Söndürgö has played all over the world now, various festivals, including here in the U.S. and Canada. And you know, they're young guys, good looking, very strapping. They all speak English. They're all, you know, kind of the millennial look. I think they'll be very good at drawing in, you know, the young girls and the young women to the festival, you know, and some of the younger generation, and they play multiple instruments. It's a very exciting show they do. That's Söndürgö, and I'm going to be inviting them to this festival, and they're going to be playing this number. I will certainly demand this number from them. It's the Čačak from Šumadija, Central Serbia. I have this interesting arrangement with the tamburica starting it off, and then the accordion joining in, the traditional Serbian accordion. That's Söndürgö. They'll be at the festival as well, that I'm be planning in my mind after COVID ends. Attila Branyitski had a good idea. Maybe we just do it online. Maybe. Still need funding though. We could figure that part out. Good idea. Hello, Krista Nagy, watching. My sister-in-law, Horvat Petty from Manhattan. See you, Petty. Cooking dinner? No, maybe it's too early for you today to cook dinner. Give me a wave, give me a hello if you're checking in so I can mention you on the World Wide Webs. Speaking of festivals, you know, several years ago, Gyanta and my band, we performed at Drummondville, a very big festival there, worldwide participation, groups coming from all over the place. Many Hungarian groups have performed there, and we did like a 3-day thing where we're playing with for the I think Kodai and Bokreta ensemble as well, and perhaps some others. And we did some other little smaller shows on side stages with Gyanta, and it's a lovely festival and very well organized and very well attended. Those evening presentations in the big amphitheater are humongous. That's in Drummondville, Quebec. But I remember, you know, the lodging is something to be desired. It was very hot that summer, and they put the dancers and musicians up at in a school. Can you imagine that now? But anyway, we stayed in like an elementary or middle school, and they rip out the desks or they put them on the side, and they bring in these cots, and these bunk beds from some prison, it feels like, and with the thinnest mattresses ever. I know I sound like a princess here, talking about my my difficulties at Drummondville, but that's not the half of it. I had to I slept on the bottom bunk, and on top of me was Ted Z. Yes, Ted Z. I think you're still on, maybe, or some of your friends your Polish friends are watching. So Ted was there, which was a great time with him, as always. But that was some smelly, sweaty times, sharing a bunk bed with Ted. So that keeps me out of prison, and keeps me out of jail, and keeps me on a straight and narrow, thinking that could be my future if I misbehave. Geneviève Cote, hello from Montreal. Yes, she remembers Drummondville. That was fun, she says. Yes, it will. Drummondville has been cancelled last year. I think that means Drummondville has been cancelled forever, and I think Drummondville Festival no longer exists. That's what my understanding is. So we've had a nice little pretend festival lineup here, and I would like to bring back. I played a couple of tracks from these guys before, and this is the Szeret zenekar, the Szeret band, which again no longer exists, but a fantastic band. Tintér Gabriella, Tinti is the singer, and Koncz Gergő, Vizeli Balázs, and that whole crew, they made a spectacular CD, and let's play a couple of tracks from there. This will be a very sweet reunion, for this band. We'll invite them, we'll pay top dollar for them to travel. They might want to travel separately, I don't know, but we've got Szabó Dani playing the cimbalom. A lot of great cimbalom players at this festival. This is the Szeret zenekar. Szabó Csobán Gergő is the bass player, and Pinko Mester Laci. I think it's Pinkő, sorry. Hello, Esther, checking in, I think in Budapest. And Geneviève has confirmed that Drummondville Festival is over forever, unfortunately. The great thing about Tinti is she's such a great singer with such a voice. She doesn't even need a microphone. You could save some money that way. has a nice lyrics there. The first line, I had a lover, but I'm not really into him anymore. Currently, he's passed out at the bar. This is going to be a great revival of the Szeret zenekar. Bonjour, Jacques Lecomte from Toronto. One more track from them. For this, we'll bring some more men to dance. You know, just close your eyes for a minute and imagine who you want to be there. You know, maybe we'll bring some of the older generation. You know, Sisi and Levoy Peter, and maybe we'll revive Jura Botyu and all these guys from the old Kodai ensemble and bring them all together. Maybe some young, strapping lads. Crazy about this recording is you really feel like the violin is like 3 inches away from your ear. It's so well picked up, all the instruments from the microphone. Great recording. Szeret zenekar reunited and it feels so good. Speaking of festivals, you know the contra player in the Szeret is Pintyő. I said Pintyő, I'm not sure why. I was thinking Pintyő Erika maybe. Pintyő, Mester László. And I remember playing a festival with for Csürdöngölő, the dance group in New Brunswick, New Jersey. I accompanied them at the Debrecen International Folk Festival, and I was the violinist, and I knew all the choreographies, and I went there, and this was the Flower Festival in Debrecen, and I played with some musicians from Debrecen, which was nice, and then we also performed at the big August 20th festival, St. Stephen's Festival up in the Castle District with Csürdöngölő. And there I hired Pintyő, one of the best contra players in Hungary, and Dor Robi, the bass player, to play and accompany me. And I remember Zagyva Natalia sang. Well, that was an exciting moment for me because for some reason I think they arrived there late and we didn't have time to practice at all. So we just did the show. And I told them basically whispering what was next, what was happening. And I remember standing there with the violin in my hand, and I started playing something, and they started accompanying me, and the earth shook. I am not kidding. It was such a force of accompaniment that I was not used to then, that my bow almost fell out of my hand. The earth shook like an earthquake, and I was, right next to those guys, and I had to catch my bow and keep playing and keep my cool, and that's what that was like. That was an exhilarating hour-long performance with some of the masters of Hungarian folk music accompanying me, and that was really fun. That was a long time ago, I think 96, 97, or maybe a little later than that, 98, playing for Csürdöngölő. Maybe if somebody remembers the year, you can point it out to me and remind me. Jacques Lecomte loves it when I translate. I like it too. I try my best, and sometimes I just want to let the music play. Szűcs Gábor from Jászberény. Szia, Gabi. Tamás István, my old buddy from New Jersey. We went to the Tamburitsins together, and hello, Aniko, the very Georgia is here too. Ted Zed, yes, I forgot to mention that Trixie, my wife, stole the show in Drummondville. Yes, that was so. We were all there to witness that. And then speaking of Pinkö, he's also in this next group. We heard from them a couple of episodes ago. This is Lakatos, Robi, and a Rave. My Dream Festival needs some kind of crossover educational component. So who better to deliver that than the crossover classical music and folk music compare contrast team of Lakatos Robi, who's a world famous violist and violinist as well, classical violist, and he's going to be demonstrating at my Dream Festival, Bartók duos and how they match up with the folk collections of Bartók. And I'm gonna ask him probably to play this number. This is the Párnás Tánc, and then which morphs into a very cool arrangement of folk music, including music from Szék. Enjoy Lakatos Robi and the Rave. And now we morph. Whoa. These arrangements are amazing. Széki! Hopp!
Oda jár a babám, vasol Én is elhajlottam egy hűtlen szavára, mit ér a rózsafa, tilos bimbó nélkül, mit ér a szerelem igaz hűség nélkül, mit ér a rózsafa, tilos bimbó nélkül, mit ér a szerelem igaz hűség nélkül.
What good is a rose without a red bud? What worth is love? What is love worth without true hűség? Oh, I'm looking for the word. Without fidelity. What good is love without faithfulness or fidelity? Here comes full circle. That's how you end a crossover arrangement. Lakatos Robian Rev. You know, there's gonna be a lot of instruments to transport back and forth for this festival. I think my dream post-COVID festival, and you know, the cymbaloms. Oh man, it's so much work. The shipping costs are crazy, and the basses as well. You know, the basses don't travel too well. They have to be packaged properly, the big double basses, you know. Usually we get a bass, you know, when we go with our band, the bass player will rent or will have rented a local instrument from a, you know, Long and McQuaid or a Sam Ash or something, but you got to be careful. I know we went to Fairfield, Iowa a couple of years ago with Gyanta. We flew to Chicago and then drove down to Fairfield, Iowa, which our friend Pop Lutzy organized a concert for us there, and he had gotten the bass from somewhere there, from some store, and Attilar Medve, our bass player from Gyanta, you know, he was we wanted to do a pre-show rehearsal just to align on what we're gonna play, and you know, he starts tuning up the bass and boom, the whole bridge collapses, the sound post pops out, and it's a complete disaster, tragedy, and it's like, this is in bad shape, and the concert's in like an hour and a half. So instead of rehearsing, we were busy duct taping and stringing, and good thing Levi, our contra player, is a carpenter, and he was able to help. And with Attila, I kind of just looked around, and I was managing the situation from far away. I'm really useless on that instrument repair front, but these guys fixed it up right on time, and we all said a prayer, Our Father and Hail Mary, make sure that the bass wouldn't fall apart again during the show, and somehow it made it through the show. And ironically, actually, we went back to Chicago the next day, and we left the bass there, and we got another bass in Chicago, and Attila rented a bass from a professional bass maker, and that was, he said, one of the best instruments he's ever played on. So, you know, and it was pretty much the same price as the bass down in Iowa. So you got to be careful. Well, these poor bass players, you know, they're often given these very rotten, made in China instruments to play when on tour. So consider that when you're watching your next folk band on tour. So this next group, I've been playing some hidden tracks from them the last couple of episodes, the Maros Gypsy Band. The lead is Jakab Attila, the lead violinist, and this kind of music will really draw in, you know, the hipsters, the Brooklyn, the Kensington Market type of guys, you know, the real fun party animals. I can see the hipsters doing a lot of, you know, head bobbing and body surfing, kind of like a Zlatne Uste Golden Festival style of partying. Listen to this. I mean, once they hear this, people are going to go absolutely ape crazy. Jakab Attila on violin, Romba Marcel on the second violin, Körlög Ergő, who spent some time in Toronto recently, on bracs, the late Koszorús Kalman on cimbalom. Unfortunately, this young man died very young, many years ago. Kalman was a very, very nice kid, a great musician and dancer. Gondos Tibor on the bass and Gyarfás Robi on the accordion. So now it's starting to get a little darker outside. You know, the hipsters are jumping up and down, and there's a certain smell in the air. You know, the waft of something, and it's just a great time dancing to this really, really intense gypsy music. That's incredible. Listen to that. Very obvious passing tone. I like it. A leading tone, I should say. Hello, Grabic Margit and Horváth Attila. I don't know if that's Horváth Attila from... Well, I don't know which Horváth Attila are you. I know about 17. Andy Rosenberg from Morristown in New Jersey. harmonies on the violins, very tight, beautiful. What? Come on! Yeah. It was 1986, and the Hungarian dance group of New York, we had a performance at the big festival, the Statue of Liberty Centennial. 1986 it was. It was July 4th, probably one of the biggest fireworks display in history or something. And Halmos Béla was there playing with us and for us, and it was a really big festival. And we performed uptown, I think, somewhere. We parked the cars uptown in Manhattan, and we went. And then my parents, were the directors of the group, said, "Look, we're going down with our costumes, taking the subway down because you couldn't drive downtown. It was everything was closed. And I think Ronald Reagan, the president, was coming in and all that. So tight security. So we took the subway with our costumes and instruments. And my parents said, if anybody gets lost, we meet back here after the fireworks. So like 10 p.m. or something. Okay, got it. So we went downtown. We did the performance, and then we were all walking as a pack. I remember Halmos Béla lifted up his violin case, and we all had to follow him walking, and because we were going through bushes, and the whole dance group was together, and somehow I got lost. In 1986, I am 12 years old. So, and I'm like, oh boy, I'm lost. The whole group is ahead of me, and I can't find them. So I just kind of parked myself, found a nice spot. I was all alone. I found myself a nice spot, sat down on the grass, and watched this unbelievable fireworks display. And, because my parents, and I follow directions well, and my parents said, meet uptown after the fireworks. So that's what I did. Got on the subway, and subwayed up to uptown, and I get out of the subway, walking towards the car, and all of a sudden, my parents crying, all the girls in the dance group, the boys, my sister, everybody running up. Oh my God, Öcsi, we thought you were kidnapped. We thought you were dead, and it turns out, the group had lost me. I felt I was never lost, and my parents had to. They went to I think they went to the police station and reported me lost, and everything. Is a horrible day for them, I'm sure, and I saw the best fireworks display of my life. So it's one of those good news, bad news things. Yes, follow directions, but maybe not to the T, not to the letter. Of course, had we had cell phones, life would have been very much different. And my father is watching here. He says, we lost you then, the scariest day of my life. Yeah, I can imagine. I can't imagine doing that now. Hello, Tokach Onni checking in. Oh, yes. So at my pretend dream post-COVID festival, I'm going to do something that's never been done before. I'm going to reunite Muzsikás with their old singer Sebestyén Marti, and this is going to be a wonderful moment. After all the fast gypsy music that we heard from Jakab Attila and the Moros Gypsy Band, we're going to slow things down, and I'm not going to tell Muzsikás or Marti that either one will be there. We'll fly him in separately, and then Éri Péter will start playing Repülj Madár Repülj, and then Marti is going to walk on stage and see, and bygones will be bygones, tears will flow, and Muzsikás and Sebestyén Marti will be reunited through this very classic Muzsikás song, Repülj Madár Repülj, Fly Bird Fly.
Repülj, madár, repülj,
delivers when there's a big festival. They've been at Pepsi Siget multiple times as well, and they're a great performance band. And this is going to be a wonderfully tear-flowing reunion.
Ha kérdi, hogy vagyok, mondjad, hogy rab vagyok. Szerelem tőlöcben, térvigvasban vagyok. Rab vagy, rózsám, rab vagy, én meg beteg vagyok. Mikor eljössz hozzám, akkor meggyógyulok.
Marty also plays the little furuya, the recorder in this nice piece.
Repülj, madár, repülj, menőságra repülj. Édes kalambomnak gyenge vállára ülj. S ha kérdi, hogy vagyok, mondjad, hogy rab vagyok. Szerelem tőlöcben, térvigvasban vagyok.
Ha! Do I know how to put together a festival lineup? Oh boy, the tears will be flowing, and that'll be a nice moment. Speaking of, a couple of years ago, we were playing at the Western Canadian Hungarian Folk Festival in Victoria, BC, and there was. We were playing, and then there was another band there. Duve was there, and we would be taking turns playing. And I remember there was a big contingent of folks from Winnipeg and some others who were taking an elevator up to their rooms and on their way back down. And I really noticed their absence from the party because they bring such great energy. Some of these people and they were not there. They were not coming back from their rooms. And as it turns out, they were stuck in an elevator during the Táncház. And not just stuck for a couple of seconds or minutes. I think it was like an hour. And, there was, I think Yoasha was there, pregnant, if I'm not mistaken at that time. And people were hyperventilating, and the ambulance came. And these guys, poor guys, they wait all year for this Táncház to come and the festival to come, and they miss like Vajdaszenti Ványi and Széki and Moldvai. Where the hell are they? They're not coming back. No one wants to dance around here. Well, there was a lot of drama around getting stuck in the elevator. So if you can avoid elevators in Victoria, British Columbia, I think you should try to do that, especially during a Táncház, because you're going to miss all the fun. That was a pretty scary moment, and I'm just glad I was not there myself. I'm not sure how I would have handled that. This band that I'm also going to bring to my dream festival is Heveded, and they are, of course, you don't party without them. They are a fantastic band and from Transylvania, and they're going to be playing all kinds of their big hits, including this one from this Rományos and Buffa. This is also from Öcsi, Heveded. So fun. hipsters are gonna love this one too, I'll tell you. Hello Slava Jurashuk checking in from Toronto on Facebook Live. Vera Shandor, you are back as if you never left. You subscribe to the Tanchaz Talk interviews podcast or YouTube channel. Hello, Köller Gergő. Did you hear Jakab Attila play before with you? On Facebook Live. So that is fantastic. But of course, I'm also going to bring on as a special encore the whole band Üstürü together with Heveded, and they're going to play some Saz Csavas from their album Csavas Iram, which is one of the great albums in the last few years. Listen to this when they kick in together, the two bands. Yeah. That's what she said. That's sung in the Romani language. I don't understand what he's saying. I'm sure it's very deep.
Hayda Roma palemande, che pavolo giandemande, che pavolo giandemande. Hayda Roma palemande, che pavolo giandemande, che pavolo giandemande. E io della e cadozino, faccia pesi cuculu. Io della e cadozino, faccia pesi cuculu.
There's nothing like watching all these guys play together on stage. Üstürü and Hebeder. It's like a soccer team up there. Maybe at this fast part we'll bring in some of the other musicians, the remaining musicians from the Százcsavás band. That will be something. Németi Dia loves Üstürü Hebeder together. We all do, yeah. Classic Százcsavás ending. Bam, bom, bom. Beautiful. We know, I think we also need a village, an authentic village band, you know, real villagers there from Hungary or Transylvania for my pretend post-COVID festival. And I'm thinking for this to bring a band from Kalotaszeg, which has never traveled to North America before. This is the Csűrös Banda. Well, one of them has been to America. That's Kis Csipás, and but they do a really mean Kalotaszegi, and they have the full setup, you know, multiple violins and accordion and contra, and the bass, and some nice singing too here. Listen to this.
Csaja románya, se házban de piranha, nyomáljon cascatemira, caia házra de Vlaemigyúja.
That's Berki Béla Árus Jr.
Megonyinám szokajtó, romja melinjo Devla te masa sipo Te lavane devla kokoro
When he goes up to the upper octave, the whole audience is just going to cheer for him.
Te otrajo himaro Očalato himaro Kaj te žavkari pira Neke devla butko vetana
Yeah, big applause. Mirai, cigánycsátás.
Čaja romanja Se asmake piraja Romanja časka te mira Kaja asta je minjuja O, gdje vlade la vage Te šača vlade la vage
This isn't your traditional, completely traditional, authentic band. These guys have a little contemporary edge, which I think will work really well for the festival. This is the next to last number, so might as well be a real kick-ass piece. Amazing. That's the Csűrös Banda from Kalotaszeg. And well, that's really the end of my set. Well, there's one more piece that I was thinking that you really need to bring these guys out just for the shock value and for the big budget. Salonna and his band together with the Hungarian state folk ensemble's big gypsy band. So when they all play together, it's a humongous sound, and they're going to end with Szatmári. But before I play that, I wanted to thank everybody for tuning in on Facebook Live and on YouTube as well, and also if you're listening on Tanchaz.com after the fact. And I'd also like to really make sure you subscribe to the podcast, Tanchaz Talk Interviews, because during the next week I'm gonna have 3 or 4 interviews coming out. I've already posted Kalman Magyar and Soma Salamon, and I hope you've enjoyed both of those very fruitful discussions. I really love this, 60 to 90 minute, whatever time allows, long form discussion with these real experts and these real interesting people. And there's a lot of interesting guests coming up in the next few weeks and of course days. So make sure you subscribe. It's on Apple or Google or Spotify or Pocket Casts or Overcast and all kinds of other podcast servers. So just search my name or search Tanchaz Talk and it'll come up. And I'd like to also thank everybody for tuning in on Facebook Live. Rigo on late to the party, but nice to have you here. And next time I hope we have even more people joining in. But let's just start our last piece here which is going to be Salona playing Satmári with the Hungarian State Folk Ensemble's Big Gypsy Band. This festival is not too far away of what I imagine the big budget festival that was several years ago down at the Smithsonian Festival in Washington, D.C. Hungarian Heritage, Roots to Revival. It was a fantastic couple of weeks, and Salona was there, and Titos Dezső's group, and Hevedar was there, so I'm not too far away from, and Szás Band, and all kinds of other people. I'm not too far away from reality here. But maybe we can do one of these things in the near future as well, for real, and we'll feature some of these great musicians that we heard today. Gyanta. Thank you for tuning into Tanchaz Talk today for some music and the stories. Tanchaz Talk is the world's only English language program focusing primarily on Hungarian folk music. I am Kalman Magyar Öcsi from Toronto, Canada, and I wish you all have a wonderful rest of the day and night, and we'll see you next time.